What's up, everyone? This is your Ticket to Reality. My name is PJ Zworich, editor-in-chief of agentsofandom.com, joined as always by my fellow agents, Ryan and Emma, and of course, season 2 finalist of The Circle Netflix, Lee Swift. We have a very special guest today, another alum of The Circle Netflix, Brian Clark, Worldwide Bri. How you doing?
I'm excellent. I took Lee's intro. I was about to, say hi, but hey, what's up? I'm so excited to be here. I'm fangirling. I love you.
Hey, we're
man, thanks so much.
We love you, big fan.
Huge fan. I can't wait to get going. You guys mentioned chaos, so let's get the chaos started. Let's go.
We're ready for always.
Yeah, chaos is great.
Lee, take it away because you two are Circle alum. We always, anytime we have these episodes where we have somebody from the Circle on, you always got to start it off because one, you typically have either met or conversed before, or if not, you're excited to for the very first time because you know about them. So take it away, my man.
Yeah, we haven't conversed, but Brian, I'm telling you, I loved your season so much. I thought you were awesome, and old guys can catfish as young people. That's all I got to say, right?
Well, some of us can catfish a lot better than others. So I have very good self-awareness, and I know you played River far better than I played Brittany. So kudos to you because you made it look easy and set me up for failure because I was like, oh, Lee's making this look easy. He made it as a finalist. How hard could it be? And then boom, I get in there and just destroy the old guy catfish reputation that you built up. So I apologize.
Hey, don't apologize. I thought it was fun. You made great television. My question is, it was your daughter, right? That's sort of who you were basing this on?
Yeah, so I came into it like, a few different strategies. I was either going to play myself, my fiance, or my daughter because, the hardest part, people think the hardest part about the Circle is, playing the Circle. But for me, the hardest part about the Circle was getting on the Circle because you're going against so many different people. So I had to kind of stand out from the crowd. So part of that, I was older. I was an investigator, but I wanted to play my daughter. That's never been done. So that was my strategy going in, playing my daughter. And, on paper, it looked good. I started seeing some holes in my strategy as time was going on in the house. And then I realized, boy, I'm in trouble. But I did play my daughter, who's 27 at the time. And, it was a whole lot of fun incorporating her into it. So that made it so special for me.
Well, Shabam kind of didn't do very good either. So you're in good company. I just gotta say.
Yeah, when I met Shuby, we talked at the rap party. And I said, I felt really bad about how bad I did until I saw you. Zing.
Oh man, I love it. Well, a lot of people ask me this question, because I'm older than you even. They ask, how is it running around? You're chatting with all these young people and stuff. How did that feel to you?
It was hard because you don't know, obviously, who's going to be in there with you ahead of time. So it was a shock to me. And you kind of saw in the first part of it, I was like, wait a second. Everyone in here is single. They look like models. They're beautiful people. No one has a kid. So I was hoping to find someone maybe a little bit older. I know how reality TV shows go. They have the old guy, and that was it, right? I was the old person. I was the elder statesman. So, but I was hoping that maybe someone could have like similar life experiences as me, a little bit. And it turned out that every single person was single. So I was like, what in the world? Like, why is every single person single? So that kind of did me in because, I kind of talked to people who, had a little bit of experience in relationship, life experiences. But coming in as the older guy and I was in a relationship, I haven't flirted with anyone in forever, so that was really difficult for me. So I was hoping to have some kind of bond with someone to kind of find that person that was like my ride or die. And I never really had the opportunity to do that. And I didn't realize how difficult it was to play a 27-year-old woman. And you think you could do it, but then the stuff I was saying was just so cringy. My daughter, when she saw it, I was like, what were you doing? Like, oh my, I was like, that's so terrible. Like, are you serious right now, Dad? I was like, I'm sorry, I tried. Because it's so hard because you have, people watch this and you're putting your daughter's face or your granddaughter's face out there. So you want to be super careful. Like, I'll cancel myself, but I didn't want to do something to cancel my daughter too and say something ridiculous. So that added so much pressure. And I was like, oh my gosh. Plus the talent of all the people that were on the show, like Chaz and Sam and Rave. Like, kidding me? Like, I had no chance. I saw Raven and Chaz, and I said to myself, first day, I have no chance whatsoever. No chance. No chance.
Oh, what?
That's a classic. Classic Brian. Don't think
Yeah.
we hate Ryan. Don't think we hate him. This is just a little bit on the show.
Wow.
I couldn't help but think when you were talking about, like, it was hard to play a 27-year-old woman. Emma's probably sitting there like, it's hard to be one too. But Brian, we were DMing and you brought up a great point when you were talking about sort of your strategy, and obviously you came in wanting to win, but then after a bit you kind of pivoted to, my granddaughter and my daughter are watching me and I just want to show them off on the screen a little bit, allow them to see themselves. When did you make that pivot?
So, first day you come in, you think you're going to win because, you have some downtime before you go on the show and you're like, here's my strategy. I'm going to kill it. I'm in the special investigations unit. I've had years of training. I'm going to just go in there. And there was a bit I did in the beginning where I said they're going to build a statue of me after the show because I did so well. It's like I had full confidence. Like, I'm a super competitor. Like, you didn't see it on the show that much, but inside when I wasn't first or second place, I was like devastated. And I knew I made some bad moves in the beginning, but it was really interesting. It was really interesting when I got into there and I realized as it developed that I wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to, go far. So at least I can portray myself and come out looking halfway decent. But one of the things that was the death nail in my coffin when I was playing it, and a lot of people realized it, is during one of the games that we were playing when we had to show a wild picture, right, of ourselves on there. And that was it. They were like, show a wild picture of loss. And I will take one of the most, and it was embarrassing, right? The comments, I get it. It was like, oh my gosh, Brittany's dad is so terrible at this game. But I wasn't, and I wasn't able to kind of talk about my thought process as I was, trying to pick out, a wild picture of my daughter because first of all, there was no really wild pictures in there, But secondly, it's like, I wasn't, even if I did, I wasn't going to put a wild picture of my daughter. I was going to put a picture of my daughter in a bikini or a short dress or any of that. No. First, these dudes out here, first of all, on Twitter and no, I'm not doing that. So I tried to find a picture of us, because I travel a lot. I was like, where are all the pictures of us in like, on vacations? Like, we went to Jamaica, we've been a lot of places. I was like, why are none of these pictures available? So I had to choose a picture of Brittany and Riley, and they were kind of like, there was some green in the background when we were at the zoo. I was like, well, this is as wild as it's gonna get. And also, I wanted to give my granddaughter Riley some screen time. So I was like, you know what? I'm losing. Here you go. There you go, Riley, Brittany. And they loved it afterwards. So I knew I wasn't gonna go far, but at least I can get them some screen time because you never know how much screen time you're gonna get or what they're gonna show. So that was one of the big things. And my strategy going in after I realized I wasn't in the ratings and I wasn't gonna do well, I was like, well, let's give them some screen time at least.
You also were on a season, like you just mentioned, how there are so many talented people. I want to once again shout out Sam, who we've had on the Ticket to Reality podcast twice. She's so incredible. And then, of course, Raven, and who we had on with Paris. And Chaz we had on as well. I didn't get to meet Chaz. I'm so disappointed. What was it like getting to meet these amazing people in person?
So, after the show, we had a group chat. I'm sure most of the other circle, crews had a group chat. So we had a group chat. So we were kind of talking afterwards because we really didn't have an opportunity. That's unique about this reality show because you don't really get to talk to the people. You don't really get to know them that much. And so afterwards, we tried our best to kind of get to know each other. And we had a long extended time between the filming and the airing of the show. And then we finally got to meet each other at the wrap party. And it was incredible meeting these people in person. I mean, you see their social media and things like that, but meeting them in person, they're just such amazing people. It's genuinely just a great group of individuals that really, truly just love. When we met up at the wrap party. I mean, we were hugging each other. Like we were just like the emotions that came out, just sharing that shared experience that only we got to do in that season was incredible. And I'll truly say that every single person, I love every single person equally. Those kids, are incredible. They brought me in. I mean, they accepted this old guy as one of their own. And let me tell you, I haven't done any TikTok dances with them. I haven't been a part of that whole thing. That's just not my thing. But
I need you twerking with Raven on
Absolutely.
TikTok ASAP.
listen. I don't want to embarrass myself. I've already done enough damage, but I don't want to embarrass myself by dancing back. But who knows? It may take off. I mean, I don't know. Bad dancing grandpa. That could be my niche, my TikTok.
Come on. Do it. I'm telling you. You'd have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of fans. I'm telling you, for sure. But I feel the same way. In fact, I feel the same way for all the seasons. Everybody I meet is so incredibly warm and charming and amazing, and it's cool to be part of the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just meeting the other people in the other seasons during the wrap party. Like I met Tara Alicia. Oh my gosh, I was like, Tara Alicia sitting here talking to me. Are you kidding? Courtney Revolution. And like, and they recognized me. That's the thing. Like, you know who I am? I'm like, because you forget that you were on the show and that you're part of that. Like, I just think of myself as just a regular dude. So them just talking to me, all the people from the previous seasons. Like, I love season 2. I love season 1. Season 2 was incredible. Just seeing you and everyone there, but just meeting all the people was just absolutely incredible. And everyone is super nice. It's not like one of those cutthroat. I don't know if y'all watch Vanderpump Rules, but that's had me in a chokehold for like the last 2 weeks. I don't even get started on that because I'm a huge, Vanderpump fan. And so they don't always get along. But, this group is just incredible. Even the people that were the villains, Brett, he was a villain before he even stepped foot on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch the other shows, Brett was a villain to begin with. And so, but he, meeting him in person, such a nice, sweet dude. And it's like, it's incredible how awesome it was to like share that bond.
I love
That's so awesome. And you brought up, you don't want to get into it, Vanderpump Rules. Brian, this is the ticket to reality, man. Get into it. Tell us about
So let
this
me
show.
tell you, so Vanderpump Rules, so I'm a huge fan. It's been going on forever. There's a core group of individuals, these bartenders and, waiters, waitresses that work for Lisa Vanderpump at her, restaurants and bars in Los Angeles. And they just follow their messy mess around. There's been several different affairs and entanglements and things of that nature. But you have a core group of people, and that was Ariana and Tom Sandoval. And they were the couple. I mean, they were it. They were the one of the stars of the shows, and they've been together forever. Well, this woman, Raquel, or as we now know, Rachel, she just has a different name now. She decided that she wanted to have an affair with Tom, and she stayed in their house. They hung out. They went to weddings together. I mean, she was pretending to be their besties. And under poor Ariana's nose, they were sleeping together. They got matching Thunderbolt necklaces. They snuck off together to meet up right under this poor woman's nose. And now it's all come out. And one of the things and it just recently happened. So I watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. I love Andy Cohen. Oh my gosh. So Raquel and Shayna Shea, I don't know if you know who Shayna is, Shenanigans. They were on Watch What Happens Live, and they asked these quick kidding questions like, top 10, hot seat questions. And one of the questions were, there's two Toms on the show: Tom Schwartz, who's a sweetie, and Tom Sandoval. So they asked the two, who do you think's like the hottest, Tom Schwartz or Tom Sandoval? And so the big entanglement was what, and the rumor was before this, it was that Raquel was having an affair with Tom Schwartz. And it turns out that it wasn't Tom Schwartz. That was just a huge cover that they've been, they hatched from Coachella of last year, but it was actually Tom Sandoval. And so they asked Rachel, who do you think was hotter, Schwartz or Sandoval? Well, obviously the answer should have been Schwartz, because they during the whole story arc of the season, they were hooking up and they were supposed to be together. But then she said Tom Sandoval, and then Shayna looked at her, and Andy looked at her, and I looked at her, and I looked at Amber. I was like, wait, why did she say that Tom Sandoval was hot? Tom Sandoval has a woman, and all of this stuff. That was weird, and they just had a weird reaction. And then comes out later that day, Ariana found out about Tom and Raquel at one of their band shows or whatever performances. And the crazy part about it, let me tell you, people say, Chris Jenner works hard, but the Vanderpump producers work harder. They had the cameras rolling while they were doing it. They're bringing people back that hasn't been on there for 5 years, old school people. And they have live reactions. Shayna punched, allegedly Shayna punched Raquel in the face, gave her a little black eye or something. It's been a mess, and I am here for all of it, because I like reality TV for one thing, for just a messy mess. I don't look at it for anything else other than my just, guilty pleasure, just to have some fun and get away from it. So I'm not looking for any other things when I watch my reality TV. It's just completely a mess. So that's where it's at. So Vanderpump is wow. I could talk all day about Vanderpump, let me tell you, but I digress.
Well,
yeah.
Now,
You have us invested.
So you know, Brian,
What?
I got to meet Lisa Vanderpump because Joker Sapphire, when I was in LA, and they had no reservations, and they walked up, and she goes, "Oh yeah, you all can come in." And I was like, "Oh
God.
Let me tell you, Chris
wow.
Sapphire is a star. Yes, Chris Sapphire is a star. I love Chris.
And Brian, I'm so happy you brought up Vanderpump Rules, because we have some people who love tuning into the podcast. We got our friend Ash in the chat. This is one of the first live shows she's caught. And Vanderpump Rules, she loves it. She said she would die for Ariana. And a bunch of other people in the chat right now, let Brian cook, because you are just absolutely cooking right now.
Well, it was such a mind-blowing thing, because the levels of just lies in the seat that has been going on for months, because it came out a little while ago, because Raquel had been dating James Kennedy, who, James is a whole story, a whole mess to begin with. James Kennedy has dated everyone, Lala, whatever. But the crazy thing is that while James and Raquel were together, he cheated on her with Lala, who Lala got cheated on by her big producer guy, who's, I won't even give him any airtime because he's just a trashy dude, but I won't even go into that. But anyway, Raquel, or Rachel, as we shall now refer to her, had hooked up, was with James Kennedy. They broke up. She dumped James because James is just a hot mess. He's just, but I love him. If I met James, I would be like, oh, James, I love you. You're so awesome. So Raquel had just broken up with James. It was a big mess. And then Raquel was trying to hook up with Tom Schwartz. And if you don't know, Tom Schwartz is a cutie, beautiful, sweet human being. But unfortunately, he just divorced Katie. So Tom and Katie were together forever. They were another power couple along with Tom and Ariana. And so Tom and Tom have this big, huge friendship. They just opened up a bar. They're trying to open up Schwartz. I guess they already opened up Schwartz and Sandy's. We actually were in LA and we were going to go there. Good thing we didn't. But
I think I've seen this How I Met Your Mother episode.
Yes, right.
it's a huge mess. So Tom Schwartz and Katie had divorced. And so the one rule you have, don't date anyone in your friend group. You cannot, you should not. You can, but don't date anyone in the friend group. Like if you're friends with someone and then they break up, don't date their man or their woman. Let them be. Let them have their moment. Let them. You're in Los Angeles, okay? You're a reality TV star. You can pick anyone. Go to a club, have fun. So Raquel had just tried. It appeared that the rumor was in Coachella that Rachel and Tom Schwartz had like made out. And, it was a big thing at Coachella last year that people had seen them making out. There was rumors. Well, Katie didn't like that. But Katie was like, hey, listen, Raquel, we're supposed to be friends. Like, why are you trying to date my man? Because even though they're not together anymore, it hurts. It stings. You don't want to see your best friend or one of your friends, hook up with your man after you break up, because then you're thinking like, okay, wait, was there attraction there before when we were together? What about that time we were all hanging out and I saw them giving each other the eye? Like, was that really real? What's real? What's not? And so apparently Tom Schwartz has been taking one for the team, and apparently said that, he was kind of coy about it, because he was like, no, it wasn't really me, but was it me? He didn't really put the nail in the coffin to say it wasn't him. Apparently Schwartz wasn't even at Coachella. It was Tom Sandoval. And apparently people had seen Sandoval and Raquel together kissing, making out, but everyone thought it was Schwartz. And through the whole story arc of Vanderpump, it was like, oh, Raquel and Schwartz should hook up. Raquel and Schwartz. And so Schwartz was going along with it the whole time, taking one for his boy Tom Sandoval, because I'm certain. Okay, there's one thing when your boy is messing around, right? Your bestie, your best friend. If you're taking it for the team, you know that he's messing around, and so he's known it all along. And so the level of wildness that has been going on with Schwartz and just Raquel dated what's his name? That poor 40-year-old manager at Sir or Pump or one of those places. Raquel went on a diversion date with this poor guy a couple of times, led this poor dude on. She was crying in a restaurant. He gave her a hug. Nice you do that. But first of all, why are you a manager dating your staff? Okay. First of all, like, why are you a manager dating? You cannot do that on TV. Like, what's going on? Like, that's wild. And so the levels of just diversions and just stuff like just I could give like a flow chart. I need like a whole chart to kind of go over it. So long story short, it came out. The fallout is swift. They have a restaurant that's getting thrown under the bus. They're not great business partners, so they're not good at the restaurant business, as you can see. So they're losing money. They're hemorrhaging money. They're like, please don't take it out on my staff and my partners and everything. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't. But it's like, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think anyone is going to Tom or Schwartz and Sandy's anymore, which is a silly name to begin with. So that's the whole summary of it as of right now. But they added some more storylines and things of that nature. So I am on the edge of my seat. So you'll see me tweeting about it because I'm talking about it all day. So there we go. That's it.
This is beautiful. You need to start a podcast on Vanderpump Rules because your passion is amazing.
Ryan, no, don't give him any ideas. We'll just keep bringing Brian back once a month to talk Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah,
I will. It has me in a chokehold right now. Like, I can't even do anything. I can't work. I took the week off. I'll just lock myself in my office, just Vanderpumping it all. I might even fly to Los Angeles. Who knows? Might be a guy on the ground just getting scoops.
I love that, honestly. Now I'm super invested. I think I've maybe watched 1 or 2 episodes in the past, but now I'm very much invested. I need to know what's going on. So I appreciate the rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. And like, clearly you have this passion for Vanderpump Rules. Like, what other reality shows have you like this though?
So it's funny because I used to watch a lot more before I went on The Circle. And so once you're a part of a reality TV show and you see kind of like the behind the scenes, the production, it takes a while for you to recover after being on a reality TV show. It takes a little bit to like get back into, loving it, because you see some of the behind the scenes, like you see behind the curtain of the movie magic, how the sauce is made. And so it takes a while because you're like, oh man, well, I understand why this happened because production and things of that nature and editing. So it took a little while. So I cut off a few shows because I used to watch all the shows on like TLC, like 90 Day Fiance and things of that nature. I watch all the Survivors, Survivor, The Challenge. I'm a huge Big Brother fan from day one. You don't even get me started on. You know, I'm passionate about Vanderpump. Let me talk about Big Brother or Survivor. I just started watching the challenge. My fiance Amber has loved that from day one. So the challenge is really good, and I love how they kind of combined everyone now. I saw Ed from the Circle on the challenge one season, which was pretty cool. So it's like now everyone's on everyone else's reality TV show. It's pretty cool, and I love that. But any of the CBS, MTV stuff, the challenge, and Vanderpump. I like Below Deck. Oh my gosh, my time. That's how me and that's how I passed my time in the Circle when I was overseas. Is that I watched Below Deck every single day. I like binged it, and I love all the Below Decks. I think they have like 20 of them, like Below Deck Med, Below Deck Regular, Below Deck Down Under, like so many Below Decks. I love that stuff. So any of the Bravo there, Summer House, Southern Charm. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's incredible. And of course, I'm a huge Circle fan. So I'm a big reality TV buff for sure.
I love that so much. So I think
You
I saw you
have the exact same taste as Ash in chat right now. Every show you're listing off, she's like, "That's my show. That's my show." But also, Brian, we like Big Brother app was second to the Circle, was one of the first like big shows that we covered in depth week to week. We've done that for the Circle, Big Brother, a little bit of Survivor, and now Perfect Match, which of course we'll talk about here shortly. But next season of Big Brother, we might have to bring you into our Big Brother draft that we had.
So I am a huge Big Brother fan. I like that show. I'll watch the live feeds. I try not to get onto Twitter because Big Brother Twitter is a scary place only for the brave. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the weak of heart.
Look, Kyle did not have a good time on Big Brother Twitter last season.
Oh.
I
And
kept
some
seeing
of the
it come up constantly. I was like, ooh, okay.
and I made a tweet which was pretty funny. I took it down since because apparently this guy has a squad and they sent me some messages afterwards. But I don't know if you watched last year, but also DJ Showtime also did not have a good time
Oh.
on the show, nor especially after. So I put a tweet out. I said, Big Brother should have cast me instead of DJ Showtime. And it got like 100,000 views. Like it was blowing up. And I was like, I don't want this smoke. And like one of his people, I guess in his entourage, was like, oh, you shouldn't be talking about this. You should stay in your lane. Like we have to stay in our lanes. Like shut up and I told LeBron shut up and dribble. They were like shut up and stay on the circle. And I was like, no, it's funny. Like it was hilarious because like I would have done better than DJ Showtime. Like he just slept his way through the season and he said some bad, terrible things afterwards. So, but I'm a huge Big Brother fan since day one. I follow like all of the people from Big Brother, and I was my biggest sadness and regret and terribleness was that I didn't recognize Brett when he was on there. Like afterwards, I knew who he was, and I was a big fan of that season. But the fact that when he came up on the screen, I didn't know who that was. It was so sad. So hindsight, I wish I could have known that was Brett because we could have had a big alliance afterwards. So, but it is what it is.
Lee, you're like Brian. You've been having some technical difficulties, so I'll catch you up and pop him back in. He's glued to the live feeds just like you are, my man. You're muted. You're muted, Lee.
Lee, come on.
He's cooking, but we can't hear
You
him.
gotta click unmute.
Okay.
There you are. You're
There we
back.
go.
Old man problems. I felt like I was blocked from Ticket2Reality. I was like, don't block me. Well, anyway, no, I'm sorry I missed. I know it's great. I'm a huge Big Brother fan too, Brian. I love Big Brother. I've actually applied to Big Brother. I want to go on there so bad, but if you go the whole round, you're 90 days, and I was having trouble with just the few weeks I was in the circle. But you're with other people, so maybe it's a little better. Maybe that's it. Was that hard for you being alone in the apartment?
So, as you know, we're there for a long time before, during, and afterwards. So it wasn't really difficult for me to be alone. Being away the whole entire time was kind of hard because you do miss your family. I will say that I didn't mind the aloneness because, as you see Big Brother, like, let me tell you, I'm gonna need them to install me another bathroom, my own private bathroom. Win the head of household every week so I can have my own bathroom. But listen, if I win a head of household on Big Brother, ain't nobody coming up to use my shower and my tub. No, get out of here. We're not sharing a bed. You're not using my shower. Get away from my snacks. I earned this later. Bye. No, you're not doing it. That's the big thing for me being on the circle, is that I loved having my own shower, my own bathroom, because there's no way I'm sharing a bathroom with 80 different house guests. No, everyone has to be clean, because you see there are certain people that clean up that don't clean up, and there's some dirty folks in the kitchen and other spots. And so I don't know, that would be a little too much for me. But it was difficult being away and just sleeping, like after coming down from all the high of the show. It's like it's hard to just like decompress afterwards and go to sleep, and then you have to wake up the next day. So that would be kind of difficult and a challenge. I guess you'll get used to it being on the show for so long if you're on Big Brother 90 days after a while. But you saw at the beginning of the first part of Big Brother last year, some of the folks were having a difficulty sleeping, and it was affecting them. Man, it is hard mentally just having the lights and the constant stimulation. It's a lot. So I don't know. It seems like it's a lot, but I would go for it. Why not?
Come on, man. Do it. Do it. I want to see you on TV again. Yes. I thought you were great.
I agree.
I really did. But I would love to see you as the head of household say, nobody comes in here. And then, of course, they're going to get rid of you after that, because you're being such a, they all want to come in and eat your food and use your stuff. And yeah, but I think you need to rethink that if you do get in there as your coach.
That's very true, because you have that gameplay and I think I would do better on a show like Big Brother, because the hard part about being in the circle is because you get no feedback. You know what I'm saying? You get the message that someone wants to send you, but it's, as you can see on there, the message they send you and their reaction and what they want to say to you is completely different. And so you don't know if they're picking up what you're putting down or not. But if you're on Big Brother or a show like that, I get I can read your body language. I can see your eyes. Are you looking at me? Are you breathing hard? Did you gulp? Like all that stuff I've been trained to do. Like I would pick up on that so well. I would see who's going off talking. I would see the body language. So I'm much better in that, like that one-on-one group setting, because I would be able to suss out every single person, every alliance, and I probably would share my stats, because it's all about the gameplay. I wouldn't want to, but I would share it with the people, because Big Brother is a very emotional, like building connections game. And that's one of the things that got me, I guess, or didn't do well for me, because I didn't make those connections quick enough. And that's part of the strategy that I was trying to implement based on your season, Lee, with Tara, Alicia, and Savannah, because that's the only season I saw before I went. No, I mean, that's the last season I saw. I saw 1 and 2. But season 3, we didn't get a chance to see season 3 because we were starting to film right when that was coming out. So I didn't get a chance to see anything after that. But I know that once Savannah and Tara Alicia had that blow up, boom, they were the next two out. So I kind of wanted to just play it down a little bit and not ruffle any feathers. And hopefully someone made that big error like Savannah and Tara Alicia, but no one did, because my season was full of amazing people. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, Tara, Alicia, and Savannah are amazing too. I'll just say, but it is fun. I mean, I do like the drama like you did. Would you go back on if they had an All Stars? Would you do that?
I'm not going on any All Stars because I wasn't an All Star. But if they brought me back as, hey, the Biggest Losers,
no.
And I would completely change it. I'd probably be a villain, because people are like, oh, you're so sweet, you're so nice. Like, yeah, I'm sweet and I'm nice. But listen, I can turn on a completely different side if needed, if necessary. It just wasn't needed in that season, because I knew that I didn't want to go out, because you know how people go out and they just go out mad and angry and yelling and screaming. Like I didn't want to do that. But I think if I ever got to go back, I would play a different side of me, because I wouldn't be playing my daughter. So I would not be worried about what people thought about me. And so I can go on completely myself, and that would be a completely different Brian, let me tell you.
I want to see it. That'd be fun.
That is something I've noticed a lot more on the circle, though, and it's definitely been confirmed with becoming best buds with Lee, and obviously meeting all the amazing, wonderful other people we've had on our show. But the quality of people on the circle are just great. It's like you said, Lee, Savannah and Terralisha, both great people. Just don't put them in the same room together. Just like Savannah and Francesca, maybe just don't put them in the same room together. Brian, we'll go just kind of first off, we'll go spoiler free thoughts. What did you think about the format of this show? And then what do you think about the cast of The Perfect Match?
So I call it the perfect mess.
Yes.
The perfect mess. It was incredible. I love doing this. I love the mashup of the Netflix celebrities, as I call them, because just seeing your favorite people from your different shows come together and have this big messy mashup of just dating. Nick Lachey, just this huge experiment of beautiful people coming together, trying to figure out dating. And I was also surprised at how much strategy that came into play for this one. So I won't really get into any spoilers, but there was a lot of strategy that came into play, good or bad. There were some that I liked, some that I didn't like. But overall, it was a great mashup of a reality TV show that brought in a lot of different things from a lot of different shows. And it did a great job of meshing together people who could kind of I think they kind of knew that some of these people would kind of, based upon their personalities, would just explode. And that's what they want,
Who were you most excited to see? Had you watched Love Is Blind or Too Hot to Handle before?
So I've watched some of Love Is Blind. I've watched Too Hot to Handle. I mean, of course, Chloe is amazing. You just love Chloe. Chloe, if you don't love Chloe, I don't even know what to say to you, because she's just so incredible. Her personality, she's so genuine, and just comes shining through. Joey Sasso, oh my gosh, what a guy. He is incredible. I mean, it was great. Just all of the circle people were just so much fun to see. I wish some of the others got a little more time on there, which I won't say anything, no spoilers, but I wish I got to see some people some more. But overall, it was a great cast of just mashups. But Chloe definitely, and all the circle people. Big Nick energy was incredible. Love that guy. He's such a silly dude. Like, he's a genius. He's beautiful, but he comes off like, I'm just, the Big Nick energy, but he's just a lovable guy. I love him so much.
He's so smart, but also kind of dumb at the same time. And it's pretty lovable. Lee, I gotta throw this to you. We're gonna talk spoilers now. So if you do not want spoilers for The Perfect Match, you're still watching, hit us with a mute, come back in a couple of minutes. But we're going to start talking spoilers now. Lee, do you have an update for us yet from last week? Do we know if Joey is still engaged?
I don't. You know what? I forgot to text him, to be honest. I should text and see.
Yeah, last show your phone was still in the car.
I have my phone
weren't able to.
Here, I'm going to text him right now.
I actually think I know. Well, you text him, but I think I've seen since on TikTok, unfortunately, that they're not together. I think I saw he did like an interview with somebody, and I was just like, no. So I think that's the update, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sad.
Hopefully they're still friends, and it's not on ugly terms or anything like that. But Brian, what did you think about the finale? Because there were some surprises from the engagement to the winner.
And what was crazy about it? So, Joey and Carousel were the power couple from day one, But I always, and I know Joey's great, Carousel's great, but it always concerns me when I see people that get together in a reality TV setting like Love that had a relationship before that. Like, Chloe and Mitch, they had a relationship before this didn't work. So when they come on a show and they try to rekindle that, those old feelings are going to come up, and it's easy to make that connection. And so I was concerned about that lasting outside of the show, because if it didn't work before you went on the show, and then, you're in a setting where it's just all about love, you don't have the outside things that cause your relationship to break down in the first place. You can just focus on love. And then afterwards, you have that come down and you're trying to make it work after that. And so I don't know, are you not allowed to like hang out with each other afterwards? I'm certain that you can't post about your relationship, afterwards. And there's a long time afterwards where from filming to, the release date. So that's difficult in and of itself. But at the finale, I was shocked at the voting as well, because Joey and Carousel, they got engaged. He called his mom. It was wonderful, beautiful, great. They've been from day one to the end. They were together. But then at the voting, the cast didn't vote them the perfect match. That did anyone else get alarm bells from that? Was it just me?
No.
That was
Yeah,
weird.
for sure. And like before the voting, they announced that they got engaged. So it's like, oh yeah, most likely they're gonna win. But for some reason, people were like, nope.
That was so strange to me. And it was so close,
Yeah,
too.
Apparently one vote.
And I was like, okay, did the people there, because there's a ton of stuff that's not shown. You see what really happens, you see what happens, but you don't know what really happened. So I'm thinking, did the people in the house either was there a little bit of haterade? Were they hating on Joey and Carousel from going from day one? Did they think it was strategic, their relationship? I'm sure there's other reasons that we'll probably not know as to why they didn't vote them, because it seemed automatic that those two would be the perfect match and be voted if it was sincere and genuine. And then they voted Dom and Georgia, and Dom's face was like, what? What is this? You can just tell, it's like, I'm just, what? And then Georgia was like, what? And I don't know if you all know what happened with them two, but that's a whole mess.
Oh, please. I've got my teacup. Go.
So Dom and Georgia,
Yeah.
after the show, they were, I don't know if they went to the Maldives or not. I don't know if they had their free round trip thing. But after the show, Dom found out that they were no longer together from a podcast that Georgia was on, where she was now with Harry Jowsey from one of the islands or handles or hots or whatever. But I'm like, what a terrible way. Poor Dom. He was already emotional to begin with. I mean, I've never seen someone cry so much in my life. I couldn't imagine. Like, he had to have his whole squad, his entourage, come over and just hold him for a week after he imagine finding out that you're no longer together from a podcast.
That poor guy cannot catch a break.
I don't understand. Like he's such a good guy. He seems like such a good guy, and he's coming with these people with good intentions. Like, I don't know why people want to
He was there
turn on the nice
for
guys.
the right reasons. Protect our Canadian man, our Canadian king. Come on.
So, and
I followed him on TikTok for a while before, and I just loved him.
And then Dom, with Francesca, I thought they were going to be a thing. And then Francesca, she was the perfect villain for this season. Her and Savannah, I thought those two, and I love Savannah to death. Savannah was one of my favorites. And I wanted Savannah and Nick to kind of, get together and have their thing. But it seemed like that was too, I'm sure Nick was down because Savannah is just incredible. But it seemed like they were just more based upon strategy than actual love. And that's just not going to work, because, they go back into the Love Shack afterwards. They're like, hey, will you be a perfect match? And then they don't just go to separate places. You got to sleep in the same room with this person. So it's like, what? It's just like, that's a whole lot happening there. And so, I don't know. I thought Dom and Francesca would make it. I had some hope for Chloe and Mitch when they got together. I was like, maybe they'll make it. But that didn't work out, because you always want to see your circle folks. And I was so sad missing out on a lot. Like Calvin, I was like, he was on there for one episode and then he got booted. And then it's like, oh man, that was so sad.
Calvin got done wrong, because he's nice, he's sophisticated, he's well put together, and then we just get the outbursts of Chase and Shane and Bartiz. Brian, I gotta ask you this. Because we decided as a group, because she didn't have much competition among her peers, that Francesca was the biggest villain of the season. But who would you, if she's the queen, who is the villain king of the season between Shane, Chase, and Bartiz?
Okay. So Shane is his personality, like just when he gets all like whatever, it's wild. Chase, I mean, come on. Chase is, Chase ain't there for any right reasons whatsoever. Chase is there to hook up, cause problems. He's perfect. I love him. He's great, but he's fun. He's a lovable, fun person that you kind of love. Like you can't really hate him. You know what I'm saying? He's just fun. He's an F boy. Like he's an F boy. He knows it. You know it. The girls knew it. They knew. Oh, you an F boy, Chase. Come on. You an F boy. You know it. We all know it. Everybody knows it. Like that's the deal. If you hook up with him, you know what the deal is. But man, Bartise, woo, problematic. Oh my God, the stuff he was saying, like. I'm surprised. Are they going to yank him off this show? Like, is he going to get punched in the face? Like Bartise, I mean, I hate to say bad things about people, but man, Bartise was not cool. Like I didn't really know Bartise. I didn't really watch this. I didn't know what he was coming with, but man, he got the worst. Francesca, you love to hate her. Bartise, blah, yuck.
Glad we're on the same page. I love it.
Yeah, go.
And it's so.
Go back and watch
the rest. I was gonna say.
Well, it's tough to watch, but oh no, I was just saying, go back and watch the rest of Love Is Blind on his season, but prepare yourself because if you think Bartise was bad here, oh my God, we all collectively agree he is just the worst. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. He's very problematic.
Extremely problematic. And it was just like, what are you doing? Like, do you even know? Like, how can you talk to people like that? How can you talk to women like that? Like, there were so many red flags from him that I don't know if he's even going to be. I mean, he probably will be castable again because it's reality TV. Sometimes the more problem, but it was a bad problematic. Like there's people you love to hate, and they're just people. Yeah, you just. I don't want to say hate, but I disliked a lot and didn't want him on my screen at all. And I was very sad that he even came back. And I was even more sad that anyone else even fell for his stuff. Like who was it at the end that was it Izzy? Izzy
Yeah, I think it was Izzy because he
it
was Abby. Oh God, Abby, and then it went to Izzy because he was like. Yeah, I don't care how I'm gonna look. Like,
I think,
dude,
yeah,
you're gonna look like a dick.
A big one.
He clearly doesn't care because he's been.
Shout out to Abby because she nailed that one. She knocked that one right out of the park when she said that. You are going to look like a dick. But it was such a chaotic show. It was. Not the best format because I feel like they should have just done competitions instead of the romance because the pool is not big enough yet. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was enjoyable television.
And speaking of pools, I felt so bad when Chloe and Mitch went into their pool and it got splashed Shane and he was so angry and he was hurt for so long. Like even afterwards, he left the house, came back. Chloe said, "I love you. I want to be with you forever." But he was like, "Yeah, but let's talk about that time you splashed me in the pool," and we're laughing. And I was like, "Oh no, that was so terrible." But it was so great and so terrible at the same time, and that'll ever be burned in my brain. Like I couldn't imagine if like the person I was, dating or talking to, like smitten, and then she goes upstairs with another dude, and then they splash me. Oh my God.
That was just honestly the perfect TV moment for me because I'm not a fan of Shane either. And just to see him get, I kind of felt bad for him in the moment, but just to see him get splashed, I was like, this feels good, honestly.
Brian, I gotta say, you were so much more diplomatic about your feelings with Bartise and some of the others than we had Sam on last week, and she was just going in. She was saying, "Look, if I see you at a Netflix party, Shane, Chase, Bartise, don't come say hi to me. You give me a nod and you keep walking. I don't want to talk to you."
I'm gonna take him to the side and be like, "Hey, bro, listen, man, we gotta talk as an elder statesman. You gotta quit this stuff. Like, we'll give you a couple mulligans, but you can't keep this up, man. Like, I don't want to give up on anybody because I feel there's hope for everybody, and there's still hope. Because if we flush him down the toilet and we all just cancel him, then he's just gonna get worse. So you got to have someone that'll be like, "Hey, I need to bring you into the good side because you need it because you're on a dark path, my brother."
And make sure you're following at Worldwide
There-
Guy on socials because I noticed you were bringing up that same point the other day, not just in reality TV, but in all walks of life, referring to the Memphis Grizzlies as John Morant in the NBA, where he's obviously going to be potentially suspended for some time here for some gun-related issues. And you brought up a great point with Jalen Rose when he was talking about him, where you got to have OGs pointing people in the right direction, because if you don't, then what hope do we have for the younger generation?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I kind of stress because it's easy to go out and just pile on a person when they make a mistake. And let me tell you, if they had internet when I was his age, when I was 18 to 20, I am glad that we didn't have internet. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have cell phones. We left the house and there was nothing else to track us, call us, photograph us, or nothing. Because if that would have been me and they would have had cameras back in my day and I posted everything, I would have been, it would have been awful. If they would have given me 20 some $1 million, when I was 20-year-old, or $100 million, and they gave me a camera and a bunch of of my friends, it would have been a mess. And so I know that, I understand that, and I kind of empathize and see where he's coming from. And when you have the entourage with you, you're caught up in the moment, you're just with your friends, and then you just want to be a kid just doing silly stuff, and you do something silly, you can't just pile upon him and just destroy him and his life, because he may not come back from that, and he may do something worse afterwards. So, like, hey, I understand you made a mistake. Come at him with love, and then he'll be more receptive to that. Because one thing you can't do is just come and start yelling at a kid and just say, "Oh, you're terrible, we're canceling you." Like, okay, well, I'm canceled. Then, all right, well, nothing. I can't do anything good anymore, so I'm just going to be awful from now on. And so Jalen Rose is great because I remember the Fab Five. I'm his age. I remember the Fab Five with the big shorts and all the things that they were going through and doing. And so he made a ton of mistakes. All of those guys did. And good thing there weren't the internet back then either, because I'm sure there would have been a lot of stuff out there. But they did. They came with love, and I try to do that too. Anyone who comes to me and talks to me, the younger generation, I try to pass that along. And that's kind of what I wanted to do on the circle too, to just show some love, because we're going through tough times as a collective, especially during the time that we were filming. And I just try to spread that out to everybody, and just make sure that, hey, you can come back from whatever you did for the most part.
This is why you got the short end of the stick when it was Circle Singles, because this is the hashtag Circle Dad right here. We're so blessed because all our various podcasts on the Agents of Fandom podcast network have allowed us to cover these different shows and meet these wonderful people like you today on the Agents of Fandom podcast. This is where we met Lee when we were covering the Marvel show Loki. One of our podcasts right now, Fandom Academy, is covering The Last of Us, and I know you're a big fan of this show as well.
Oh, I'm not going to.
I haven't seen the most recent episode yet, so we can talk spoilers except for the most recent one. I mean, I played the game, so never mind. I take it back.
So that show is incredible. So I'm a big Walking Dead fan. I'm big. Any zombie apocalypse has ever happened, I want to be a part of it. I have a plan. I have a bug out bag. I have some stuff hidden somewhere in my house. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to put it out on the streets. But I'm a mini prepper. And once I get a little older, I'm going to start being major preppers, because you never know when. But I'm ready for a zombie apocalypse. You get a headshot. You don't get too close. You put on some things. And the main part of it, and I didn't realize because I didn't know what this show is about or anything. It's like the scariest part of these shows aren't the zombies, aren't the monsters. It's the people. It's the other humans. They're the worst part of these shows, because you kind of see where when society unravels, you see people just surviving and just behaving in terrible ways. And like, you can take out a zombie, that enemy, they're easy to kill, just bap, but the people are just so awful. And it's incredible because you see it's kind of similar to The Walking Dead a little bit, where they were constantly going from group to group to group, and you realize that this group isn't really nice. They're cannibals actually, or things of that nature. And so you kind of see that with the Last of Us, and you see the people are the worst.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, yeah, you bring up The Walking Dead. That Terminus arc where they're providing this like sanctuary for our Walking Dead crew, and I mean, this recent episode, Last of Us, pretty messed up in a whole other direction, but
Yeah, I won't spoil
it was wild.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it was a pretty and just episode 3 was incredible. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay, they need to expand the best supporting actor actress because 1 and 2 I liked, that was good, it was cool. Number 3 just put me just out. I was like, are you kidding? Like I had to just have time to myself. It was so incredible. Just a love story and just seeing that because you don't see that type of love story. And it's beautiful that they're showing that now because you never see two men together and just having that just emotional and physical connection together was just incredible. And I love to see that. And they need more of that because you don't see enough of it. And that's one of the things I would love to see too with kind of like, the perfect match and shows like that. Like, hey, and I did a Twitter like, hey, Court, some of my friends like what is it, Oliver? Oliver needs love too. Oliver Twixt. Put him on that show. Let him find a man. You telling me that wouldn't be the most entertaining thing in the world? And so just getting back to that, just like it's so nice seeing that. Just the representation is just incredible.
Yeah,
Episode
we
3 just like really stepped it up, and then they've all gotten like it seems like better each week. This past week's episode, I haven't watched it yet, but I will say like that part of the game was like the most intense for me to play, like when I was playing it. And then I didn't play the DLC, and so all I heard from that part was just like, oh, I got bit in a mall and I lost my best friend in the process, and that was all of that story that I knew. And then so getting to see Ellie and Riley together and just like that whole episode, my goodness, it was.
And speaking of the mall episode, I was a kid, a teenager at the height of the mall, and I'm sure Lee spent some time in the mall as well. Or if not, you missed out. But the mall was everything. That's where you went to hang out. Like you got dropped off on Friday night at the mall, arcade, just Orange Julius, some pretzels, some just the arcade, which is like, the arcade, just the sights and sound of it. It's just all of that stuff. Just everyone was there. No one had phones. No one was posting. You were just in the streets at the mall, running around. Your mom couldn't get a hold of you. Your dad didn't know where you were at. You were just wild and free. And that was just an incredible time. And they just did a great job of just kind of showing that too. It was just so special.
They really.
I'm writing a horror film that's set in the mall in 1988 with a friend of mine. So, and it's kind of based on, it's kind of a, the Breakfast Club, that kind of vibe, but a horror film. So
I can't wait till it comes out. Hopefully
fun.
you can give me a signed copy because I would love to read it.
In the 8th grade, that was like what my friend and I would do every weekend. Every Saturday, we were about a 45 minute to an hour bike away from the mall. So we would bike, get up in the morning, we'd bike to the mall, we'd spend the whole day there. There was a movie theater there, so sometimes we'd catch a movie, and then make sure, like, our rules from our parents were just like, you have to make sure you're home before dark. And so that's how we'd spend our days, and just it was a fantastic time. But Brian, thank you so much for joining us, because this has been an absolute blast, and we got to not only run it back for more Vanderpump Rules recaps, but we're gonna have another Big Brother draft when the next season comes around, and we'd love to have you join us.
And listen, call me anytime. I will hop on here anytime you need me. I love this. It was so much fun. You all are amazing. So I will be back anytime you ask me. And Big Brother, I can't wait for that.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
Appreciate you so much. This has been an absolute blast. Make sure you follow Worldwide Bry on socials. You can find us at Ticket2Reality on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you follow the podcast anywhere you get your pods, as well as the other shows on the Agents of Fandom podcast network. The Critics, Agents of Fandom, Listen 3000, Fandom Academy, I think I hit them all there. I think that was good. And of course, us, Ticket to Reality. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Agents of Fandom on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, on behalf of our amazing producer, Ruben, Emma, Ryan, Lee, and myself. Thanks so much for our guest, Brian. Thanks to everyone who joined us. We will see you next week. Peace.
Thank you.